Good day, context traders. Today is April 25th, 2025, and I want to go over today's morning trades with you. Now, I was very happy this morning to see that we are opening right around our close of the previous day. This makes the early 5, 10 minutes much easier to navigate for me. Typically, we don't have to deal with thinking about where we're coming from and what happened in the overnight. So, pretty easy to just step right in. And immediately thinking based on the daily chart, I did look at a potential for a bit of a pullback day. But at least in this midterm or short term, everything to me was still channeling up. Everything was showing power up. So we're looking at our 5 minute chart here. We see the 21 is still moving up. The 50 is up. The 200 is up, right? Everything is stacked in alignment. That looks all good to me. So my bias initially is to see if I can catch a continuation call trade at some point. So we opened up here at an area of resistance. And so my initial thought was I don't want to take this first trade. I'm not really looking at puts, although this was a perfectly acceptable put if you wanted to look at this as an inverted H4 pattern right here to fall and drop into that area. That's a very reasonable trade if you are somebody who likes to snipe these early morning trades. But my focus going into the market was to wait for a pullback and catch, or to watch this blast through, right? Blast through this zone and then retest on top and go. So I'm thinking I either want to see a boom, pullback, go, or I want to see it chop in here, find itself support. Remember, the first 2 minutes are pretty wild. So you really need to have a very strong conviction to get in those first couple minutes. So today I did not have that and I waited and I watched this come down. And then what do we see here? We have a widening state on our 1 minute chart, right? Everything's still aligned. 5 and 2. My moving averages are all looking pretty good. We did have a little bit of spaghetti soup here on the 21 and the 50. I wasn't too concerned with that because I still see my 21 going up and my 200 going up, my 21 up, my 200 up. And I see this fall down into this 200 and immediately start pushing back up. Now, I did not catch this right at the bottom. I did wait for a few seconds, but as this bar was rising here, I jumped in. It was around that 466.35 cent area, right? As we were pushing back up. And I'm thinking if this bar continues and cancels out the previous down bar, I stick with the trade. If this bar pushes up, gets to this area, wicks, and starts to fail back in, I kill the trade. Okay. So remember, early morning plays, we do not give them much room. We let them go. If they want to run wild, we stick with it. If they start to hesitate, need to make quick decisions. So I took this trade up. Boom. 1, 2, 3 minutes, push. We fall back. Fourth minute, not so good. Fifth minute, hesitating. I'm out. Okay. So I caught about $1.75, $1.80 on that first run of the day, feeling pretty good so far. Now, this next setup here, right? This was a good potential put setup. I was not super interested in it just yet. I did just get out of a trade and um, I have a hesitation or a tendency sometimes if I start trading and just jump in one trade after another, then that sets a bad pattern for me for the rest of the day. So I did hold out on this one, but I was watching this thinking this is a nice put setup. I just didn't know how far it would go. I was thinking that we just broke above this area here, right? That same area I was talking about. And I was thinking, well, we're getting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, no follow through. Nice upward wick pushing down. I'm thinking this could fall down, but is it really going to breach this prior area? Is it going to breach through that? Is it going to crack right through that wide state 21? So I let that one go. We did see it come down, pull up. Also thought about clicking in on this one, but again, I let this one go. Um, in hindsight, I kind of like this one actually. This is a really nice setup right here. I I just I wasn't focused enough to catch this at the time, to be honest with you. But Beautiful setup here. We snap through, pull back up right into that same block area, and then bang, right into the 200. That's a nice trade. I was probably a little bit too call biased and I missed that one. Speaking of, what did I look at? I was looking at this area coming back into that 200. It felt good to bounce off there once. I'm thinking let's bounce off of it again. And I jumped in on this bar right here. This was that 9:51 Eastern, 6:51 Pacific bar. We start going up, 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 up. I'm feeling pretty good. And immediately it snaps and rips right through my stop. So I took a loser on my second trade today. Uh, wasn't super thrilled with that. It was a small loser, but a loser nonetheless. And wasn't happy that I was given a little bit of the money back, particularly when I had just realized that I'd missed this put that was pretty obvious back into that 200. But no worries. What do we get? Moving on. We fall down below that 200. We snap back up on top of it. We pull. We're getting support rubber banding around that 200. Right? Let's see where we at on our longer time frames. Right? We want to make sure everything is aligned. I'm looking over here and I'm seeing this is looking pretty good to me as well. Okay. So everything seems to be kind of channeling up at the time. We're looking good still. The moving averages, we were getting a little bit of this rubber banding around them. So they weren't being very well respected. So I'm thinking, okay, we sliced right through it. We sliced back through it. We could just slice right through it again. 200s tend to be pretty strong, though. This is a flat-ish 200. That's in its most strong state. So I jumped in on a call looking at this as a potential false breach area below the 200, snapping back on top of it. And I'm looking for a return again back to this same zone. Right. So we get in here, get long at 9:59. Um, and I'm thinking that we have a news catalyst coming up. So news news can be nasty, news can be very enjoyable. So I was in here early. My stop was right down here below these candles. Um, I had pretty low risk on here, right? That's only about 30 cents below, but for something that could take off. It absolutely news could have Kansas City shuffled, could have ripped my stop out. Um, but I went small position here. I went about a third of my normal position size just in case something crazy happened. And it did pop, it dropped. This news bar sputtered a little bit and boom, got right up. It did hesitate right in this area between the 21 and the 50, hesitated, and then just kept going. Because we had that big surge really quickly news, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I closed my trade. Um, Normally, I'm probably holding through this, but because of context, we just had a news catalyst. We shot right through that 21. We moved up in such speed and violence that there's a really good chance it will come back just as hard. So I canceled that one, killed that one out, took my profit there, felt pretty good. I made up this loser here and then some. So we fall back down 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. We're falling into that 10. That 10 is rising back up. Where we at on our Fibonacci? Looking pretty good, right? Fibonacci area, we're sitting right around the 50% line. Anything in that golden fib zone is pretty good, right? Better if it's in the upper third, upper 40%, but anything in that 50 to 61.8 area, that's still really good. That still has a high probability, better than a coin flip, that that thing is going to at least make another high. And we're already in momentum. So feeling pretty good about this trade re-entering here. A little bit late. I didn't catch it on the 10. I waited for a little more confirmation. Just thinking about the context again, where what just happened. We could fall right back in. I have 21 and 200 below me to catch the price. Absolutely, but that's a pretty good distance down into that area. I didn't want to put that much risk on. I waited until this bar closed, this one open, starts to rise. I'm in this bar right here, 467.35. We're moving up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hesitation. I'm sliding up my stop. I'm right below this last area, right in here at 467.75. I'm thinking we could crash back down into that zone again. So I give it a little bit of room. We hesitate. Boom, we take off. I get up here new high of day, I'm trimming. I take off half of that position here, fall back into the 10, pull back up, fall back. I held the other half of this position because I'm thinking potentially break and retest. So anytime we break highs, right, anytime we break a high of the day, we're likely to fall back. We're going to have a pullback. Is that pullback going to be a deeper pullback, or is it going to break and retest on top of the previous structure? So I held the other half. It bounced into that zone, popped off. We didn't make a high here. I was feeling like this was getting a little too far away from the moving averages. And then as this bar starts to fall back down, I killed the other half of my trade. Again, we had another pretty nice put entry right here. I did not take this one. These are ones that I often do look at taking. Um, Again, I don't know. I was just really call biased today for the most part. Again, I was thinking, energy seems to be moving up, seems to be moving up. In the back of my mind, I had already this thesis that it could be a pullback on the higher time frames, but I want to stick with the dominant energy until I see something that tells me we're going the other way. And I think, I was talking to another trader about this after. Why I disregarded this one was because of that power move. But the reason I should have been more focused on it is look at all this space. This is a big space, right? This is 467.30 up to I guess a high up here, 469.30, a couple dollars away. And look at these moving averages now in the 2 minute. They're pretty flat. The 21, the 50 is pretty flat. That is a cut through state. And we already proved earlier in the day that we can just disregard and rip right through those moving averages with very little respect. So should have been looking at that trade, but I let that one go. I got two winners already under my belt. Took a small loser there. I want to be really picky about any trades at this point. And it just ripped right through. But where did we go? Right back into this same zone. We're getting close-ish to the 200 on the 2 minute chart. We're seeing wicks down in here popping back off. So I see popping off, popping off. This one here tried to fail, popping off. This one of these should have gone lower and then started to retest. We didn't see that. We kept seeing it popping off, popping off. So I still was a little skeptical, so I did not grab it right here because we did not sweep the lows. And I'm expecting at some point we try to draw liquidity down here somewhere. Um, so there's still a good chance that this could come up, fail, and then go lower again to try to sweep that liquidity. So I've mentioned this in other videos. I haven't gone into great detail on it, but oftentimes when we come from a high area and we're dropping in, if we don't sweep that low, build liquidity back up, I'm less confident that we're going to go and make another high with this deep of a pullback. Right? This is a pretty deep pullback. If it had just come back 50% and held, sure, we're going to go make a new high. But to fall this far without sweeping some liquidity, taking some stops, and then moving back up, I'm still thinking there's a chance that this just comes up weak and then dies. But I was wrong, right? This bar pops off, this bar pops off, this one pops off. We push right back into that 21 on the one, we pull back. I'm looking at this right here, the oscillator is just growing. We're seeing that cycling up. And again, I'm thinking moving averages really haven't been respected today, rubber banding around them. So normally overhead 21 like this might be stronger. Today doesn't feel so much. So as this bar here is above the 200, popping through, I jumped in another call here, looking to get back to that same zone. I'm thinking, okay, if this is a false breach, we should get back into this zone. If this is just going to be the new guy we take out to make higher highs, then we should get in here, retest, boom, and go past it. So I'm thinking pretty high probability that we at least get a run back into here. So I'm thinking, okay, 460, 680-ish 85-ish. We're moving back into 468.40. That's a nice little run. So the first leg, boom, comes up, pulls back, comes up. It's a little bit higher, but starts to fail. I take off half my position right there, holding out. That was another nice impulse, but we're away from the moving averages. Kind of disappointed in myself because I just wasted a lot of time here, but I sat through all this chop. Boop, 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 choppy, 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 choppy. And that other half of my position, I ended up just having to kill as it drops and closes below the 10. I was thinking that we could just consolidate here, and I was probably being just a little too greedy here. I should have just killed the trade, let it reset, and then decide. But in my head at the time, I was thinking, if this is a head and shoulders, shouldn't the shoulder have been lower? I was thinking like, okay, head, right, head here, shoulder, right shoulder a little lower, then it dies. Because it came right up to the same area and was consolidating, I was thinking maybe these moving averages just need to catch up, catch price, and then send it higher. So when we dropped into this 21, popped off of it, I was feeling pretty good. Then it was just a dud, just auto rocket, died. So I killed this one as it fell back below the 10 EMA here. I could have easily just got out of this trade many minutes before and saved myself the time, but so be it. Still profitable, still green. And we fell down into this 200. 200 is the one moving average that's, I was seeing it's like it's fairly well respected. Yes, we got a little bit below it, but it rubber band off of it. Got a little bit below it, we rubber banded off of it. So I see price channeling up. I'm patient here. Again, protecting the green day. Don't want to get too hasty. Don't get into anything crazy here. Want to make sure this 21 on the 1 minute at the time was kind of starting to curl and belly over a little bit. So I wanted to make sure this wasn't going to catch price and then drive it right back into the 200. But we kept moving up, moving up, moving up. We powered through 21, pulled back. I entered right here. Actually, pretty good entry. Sniped this really close to the 21 and 10 EMA, right around 467.90. And I immediately just dropped my stop right back below here. So I'm giving up about 15 cents of price action, right? So very tight stop here, thinking that we could get that last push up into those high a day. So I'm in late, so I want to protect. So I'm much more likely to kill a trade quicker because I'm in late. I'm not in down here at the bottom. I'm in right here on top of the moving averages. So we get up in here. I'm immediately go to break even once we start to push into that zone again. Pulls back, pops off, pulls back, pops off. And as this bar right here is falling, this is the 11:17 Eastern, the 8:17 Pacific bar. Is this one's falling as it sur- surpasses, goes past the previous candle down? I'm feeling like we're running out of energy. And I didn't hold out here. I killed that trade, and that went for 470, 467.90 area. I got out around 468.50. So not a huge winner, but a winner nonetheless. Small winner there to finish my day. I did not want to hold through this retrace. It came back down to around the same area that I got in, likely would have wicked me out and then ripped up one more time. That was it for me. Called it quits there for the day. So that was the end of my trading session. But one other thing I noticed when I came back to the charts, we should just take a look at here. It was pretty nice how we look at, let me try to align with the bodies there. So we see we go through the bodies here. Look at this trend line being supported. This here is what I was hoping was going to happen over here. I was hoping we were going to get that. I was hoping this one of these was going to give me that blast off to make those new highs. But instead it pulls back. We got this really nice look here as we come down 5, 10, 15 minutes. We're holding all the prices channeling up. All right, look at this here. So you see how price is just rising up. It's nice. We're just keep making higher lows. And I think anywhere, maybe if you're aggressive trader, you might get in right here on this 1148. You might catch this nice little H pattern here, right? This pops in. Catch this one on the curl up of the second leg of the H. Take that one up. Or if you're patient, you could wait until we see price getting back above this zone and holding these moving averages. So for me, I like this entry here, but I also would have been happy with taking that entry, take that entry, multiple chances to get in this run here. So really nice run there. I'm hoping some of our traders jumped into this one. Just beautiful, beautiful rip. I wasn't around to get it, but I'm really hoping someone in our community grabbed that one. And that is about it for me. Friday, like to get those trades in early, get on with the rest of the day, finish the weekend in a happy and positive mood instead of wishing I had done things differently. So remember, folks, I am not trying to tell you how you should trade. This is for you to decide for yourself. I'm just sharing with you how I trade, and I hope you have a blessed weekend. Until next time, I will see you all later.